Hi and welcome to this video, and this video is on how to do your bar costings. Now, bar costings for me should be about between 400 and 500% on top of your cost of goods, and you'll see in this video that why you should be making more money on your beverages than you should from your food. If you're in a position where your food, and I have been in this position many times, is taking more money or generating more revenue than your beverage, then that is a problem. So with that in mind, let's get stuck into it. So what we've got here is a pantry list. You can go and put your restaurant here. I've got restaurant on name. Just click on it and it will just do that in front of you. So your restaurant is here. Okay. Now let's get into the good stuff. All right, we've got on the left hand, we've got the various vodkas, rums, gin, the whole works, bourbon, tequilas, liqueur, what's in the fridge, soft drink wise and flavorings and things like that. Tap beer, wines, juices, syrups, non-alcoholic drinks, bits of fruit garnishes, Tabasco sauce, milkshakes, the whole works. It's quite a good spreadsheet, this one. I've actually got another one in for wine. I'm thinking about taking that one out and just using this one. It's much clearer. Anyway, let's give you a quick demo in here. Let's go back to the top. Now, you can completely edit this. Okay, so let's just start with our vodkas. Okay, so we've got 42 below vodka, flavored here and here. We've got Grey Goose, Belvedere, and so forth. Rum, we've got Sailor Jerry, Crack and Spice rum, and so forth. Our next column is our suppliers. So you can write down what supplier you've got here. It's always good to have about at least 3 or 4 suppliers with your beverages. The bigger the wine list, I felt, the better it was to have more. But if you've got a small wine list of 10 to 20, then 2 or 3 will be sufficient. You're going to write down they come in packs of 6 or 10 or 12 or 8 or 4 or whatever it is here. You're going to give the costs pre-tax. And then we've got the wet and GST and the price included. Everything included, sorry. I will put a link below on what the wet tax is if you're not sure or how that affects you. Next column is our bottle size of 700 mils, and it gives us our price. So it gives us a price of $70.95. Now here we've got our serve, which is pretty cool. We've got our serve, and if you're using a half a shot for all of these, which you're not, this is just an example, then it pre-calculates it for it as well. Okay, let's go back to, if you're doing 45, a shot and a half, well then that's it there. Standard drinks is 30 mils, 1 shot, so that's our cost of $3.04 for this vodka. Okay, now a word of warning, this is completely editable, and so if you change things in these columns, it can change things in further columns. So just be careful, but please put in your details anyway, but just be aware of that. Now, before we move on to the next section, I wanted to show you these. It's quite common now for a lot of restaurants or a lot of bars, especially if they're really busy, to make pre-batch daiquiris and things like that. And what we've got here is a pre-batch calculator. So you can put in your ingredients, okay, stolen white, and I'm just going to pause the video for a second. All right, let me just check whether the video is up and running. Excellent. I'm just going to show you one base here for the sake of the video. We've got our stolen white, uses 600 mils of liquid and gives us a cost of here. Now that will populate. If you put your prices in the pantry over here that I showed you a second ago, that will all pre-populate. Lime juice as well gives us a total cost of 360.69 and a total weight of 10,000 milliliters or 10 liters. Gives us a cost of $3.75 if we have a serving of 105. Now I imagine that if we would change that, that should be working out. Yep, there you go. It changes. Let's change it back. All right, to make it all standard. And then we're good to go. What you'll notice is we've done a base of 10 litres at each recipe. All these figures here are pre-populated from the pantry, as I said. We've got a couple here for you to look at and have a play around with. Use them in your business if you want to. If you're using others, we've got the pre-batch quantity here, okay, or pre-batch recipes here, so you can punch in your recipes yourself here. That's pretty much what I wanted to show you in that. Let's move on to the milkshakes. They're much similar on the others. All right, so milkshakes, we put in 200 mils of milk. Now all quantity is basically one because we're doing this per recipe, so I haven't put in quantity, and it doesn't actually pre-populate anyway. Look, if you hit 2, nothing changes. So I'd advise it just to keep it on 1 or nothing. All right, so we've got 200 milliliters of milk, or it costs us 30 cents. Ice cream, 350 grams, or 86 cents, and so forth. It adds on a 10% wastage anyway, right? Because everyone is always over pours or spills a little bit, so we need to build that into your cost. Our 10% was 40 cents, which gives us a total cost of $4.37. Now you should be able to change this in the green if you want to $21. Yeah, excellent. And what that does, it gives you a 481% margin. Okay, $16.63 per time you serve one of these cocktails. You can see why now Beverages is a big thing in restaurants. So if you're not licensed and you're thinking about it, that may be a good idea. All right, and this is why. Now, if you were selling it at a 400%, this is what your drink price would be. You'd round it up to $17.50, and this one's at $20. And this is a $4.50. What you do here is go, look, in my market, I really can't do that, so I might have to settle at serving it at $16, for example. All right, that gives you a sell price of 366%, or you make up 11. Right, so that's the situation you don't want to be in. You want to be able to get the most as you can. So if we put that back to 18, for example, and sort of go about halfway, then we've just hit that 400% that I mentioned at the start. So anywhere between 400 and 500. The closer you are, this is how I remember it, the closer you are to 400 is the less money you make. The closer you are to 500, the less chance you might price yourself out of the market. So hitting that, 450, 420 to 460, 70 is a not a bad place to aim. Let's move on before I ramble on. We've got a ton of options here for you to put your own cocktail. Copy and paste as many this square here as many times as you like. It will all work. We've got some classic cocktails underneath already priced up for you. You just need to change the color here where the price. I'm just going to highlight one, for example, $22. And that just shows you exactly what I just showed you then. But I've got a stack of places for you to put in your cocktails, and we've got an old-fashioned mojito, martini, and a Bloody Mary as an example. Now daiquiris, much the similar. We've got a couple of daiquiris on the top for you to have a look at, and please go for use these as much as you like. They're quite good recipes. If you don't have a bar or you're thinking about opening up, use these. Not much else to add here. You got your own section here to add whatever drinks that you want. And again, with your espresso martini, it's exactly the same. So we've got a classic one that's been costed out, and a chili ginger, and a Jaffa, and so forth. And under that, we've got a whole heap that for you to do on your own. That's pretty much it for this video. It is a very, very good one for your beverages. Take your time and have a really good watch and a rewatch of this. Now, I just wanted to go over and find the wines, make sure that we're okay with the wines. I'll pause the video just so you don't have to be bored watching that. Okay, let's just make sure that the video is recording again. Yeah, here we go. Now, I wanted to go over these wines. I think the other calculator that I've got is more in-depth for wines from here. This is great, a little bit simpler to understand, but not as accurate, I don't think. So I would be looking at using the other one for the wines and this one for everything else. That's it for this video. I'll see you in the next.